Let's move on to somebody who is very much dead, if you believe the official narrative, and that is Jeffrey Epstein. Not these two. These two are very much alive. That is Khanna and Thomas Massie, but the two of them are leading a bipartisan effort to force the Department of Justice to release the Jeffrey Epstein case files through what's called the Epstein Transparency Act. On September 3rd, they will hold a press conference with 10 Epstein victims, many speaking for the very first time, they're demanding accountability and closure over the case. I got to imagine, I've talked about this before, but imagine that you're victimized by a sex trafficker. Already horrific, right? You're having sex with men for money or being forced to have sex with men without any type of compensation. But then on top of that, imagine it being a group of powerful elites. So you recognize them, you see them, they're on TV, they're in your face, they're in your newspaper, they're on your feed. And then on top of that, you speak out about it and no one believes that it happened. And everybody denies that the existence of something very harmful that hurt you even exists. I can't imagine what these poor victims are continuing to go through. And this has been going on since at least January 20th when Trump took over, because that's when we were like, all right, we're getting the Epstein files. Let's go. Tell us about Ghislaine Maxwell. Did Jeffrey Epstein really have Bill Clinton fly to the island? All of that stuff. And here we are almost 9 months later, and we have no more answers about Jeffrey Epstein today than we did on January 20th when the president took over, despite him promising to release the Epstein files, despite many people within the administration. You've seen the videos. I don't need to go through Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, telling you you're going to get this, and then you not getting it. Here's Khanna. He was also on, is this NBC News?
Yes.
NBC News. This is Khanna. He is one of the two congressional representatives leading the bipartisan effort to release the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Here's what he had to say regarding the September 3rd press conference.
I'm very confident it will. I spoke to Congressman Massie. You had us both on a few weeks ago. We will have the petition live on September 2nd. We have all 212 Democrats committed to signing it. He has 12 Republicans. Only 6 of them have to sign it. What will be explosive is the September 3rd press conference that both of us are having with 10 Epstein victims, many who have never spoken out before. They're going to be on the steps of the Capitol. They will be telling their story, and they will be saying clearly to the American public that they want the release of the Epstein files for full closure on this matter.
Do you guys think that we will be any closer? Because at this point, you know, I see this trending a lot on Twitter, fatigue when it comes to certain groups of people. When you see a group of black people assaulting somebody in public, there's black fatigue. I've seen people have Jewish fatigue when it comes to Israel and the ongoing war in Gaza. I am at the point where I am Epstein fatigued out. I want answers, but I don't think we're going to get them. And it starts to make me question, what if there was no elite sex trafficking network to begin with? What if all of this was hearsay, and this entire time we've bought it hook, line, and sinker? We have spent years of our lives investigating this, trying to connect the dots, and what it turns out is that there are no dots to connect. Do you guys think that there is any chance we'll get any closer to any type of transparency when it comes to the Epstein files following the September 3rd press conference? Brandon, you seem like you want to go jump in.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, out of all the people that could release something, it's going to be Khanna and Thomas Massie, and I mean, I definitely think that there is an elite network of sex traffickers, because there was one before this, and it's the same pattern where they kind of get away with it and it disappears, and people who are close to it die, who are talking about it, and they kind of guide your attention away from it. So
the Franklin scandal is what you're referring to. And for the people at home who don't know what the Franklin scandal is, can you give them a quick 10-second synopsis of what it actually is?
Exact same thing that happened with Epstein, except in Nebraska, and same thing where there's a lot of political elites that were allegedly involved in it.
And this is the late 80s, early 90s that this took place in. So this predates Jeffrey Epstein. However, when you start looking into Jeffrey Epstein's background, Jeffrey Epstein was very much involved in different international dealings during that time. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that during that time, while the Franklin scandal was ongoing, Jeffrey Epstein was also running his own blackmailing scandal of his own, or operation.
He started right when that one collapsed.
So they end Franklin scandal,
87.
and then 87, they end Franklin scandal. Well, by that time, Epstein's already involved, allegedly, in arms dealings in the Iran-Contra scandal,
right,
correct?
But the sex stuff kind of starts in 87.
Okay, so he starts in 87, carries that on up until 2019. Well, was he still ongoing? Yeah, because Ehud Barak was seen at his apartment like 30 times after the original conviction in 2006. So after Epstein ends, who's the one that took the ball and ran with the blackmail?
We don't know that. I wonder if what's his name? The guy that was on Nick Bryant's knows that. I don't think he does. I think there would be a lot more attention to it if somebody did know that. But I'm almost positive that there is a exact clone replica of that system that's up and running today, alive and well.
Connor, do you believe A, that there are sex trafficking blackmail operations that exist within the United States government? And B, do you believe that are ongoing now after Jeffrey Epstein? And then B, do you believe we will get the Jeffrey Epstein files ever released after the September 3rd press conference?
And I definitely think it's occurring. There's so much evidence that points to it, whether it's one massive coordinated thing with, intelligence connections all around the world, or it's just individual members of the government soliciting prostitutes who may or may not be underage. But as for whether we'll ever get answers on this, I'm not hopeful. I share your Epstein fatigue. Every single week I sit down to find stories for us to cover on this show, find topics for us to discuss. And there's always that one little Epstein thing that comes up. It's like, okay, do we talk about it? Or are we bored? Are we bored as hosts? Is our audience bored?
There was a turning point. The turning point for me came when it was the Department of Justice released the interview with Ghislaine. And at that point, I was like, man, I don't even care. Like, I felt weird saying that, but then I could tell on our end that the views started to drop on the on the Epstein stuff right around the time of that release. So for me, it's like I'm fatigued out, and from what I'm seeing, the audience also fatigued.
Yeah, and like guys in the chat, as you're watching this, let us know if like you're still interested, because we want to continue covering it. It's very important. But the thing is, that means it's working. That means they're getting what they want, which is all of us throwing our hands up, and whether we believe it or not, we're ready to be done. We are ready to move on and find something else, find the new shiny thing, because this is no longer engaging for any of us. And that kind of means that they're getting what they set out to do. And it's important for us to have those, am I crazy moments of like, check why you believe what you believe. Why do I think, such and such about Jeffrey Epstein? Where did I get that information? But we've done that. We've gone back and we've looked at, okay, this is the sweetheart deal with Alex Acosta. We've read the original statements. We've read the newspaper reports. All of this is real. All of this is out there. So it's not like we're just losing our minds here. We were onto something, and they're now making us move away from it.
Humberto.
We didn't get to be bored. I don't care what the chat has to say, but you can't let this one die. Maybe we should stop, having the sprint mentality that everything is going to be dropped all at once. But I think people on the JFK conspiracy, they did very well. They held it up for 40 years?
There's a lot of people who spent their entire lives looking into that, which I can't even imagine.
But that's why they're running a marathon. You need to do a little bit here, a little bit there.
They didn't make much progress, though. There's some people who spent 40 years of their life researching it, and they still think Lee Harvey Oswald did it.
I don't know.
That's a sad existence right there.
There's got to be an end to it, though, because, okay, well, you would think that the end goal of the Kennedy research stuff would be the mass disclosure of all the remaining classified files. Well, we got that. What changed? What was clarified in that disclosure they did a few months ago? We covered it on the show. All we said was, look, you find evidence for whatever it was you think happened in these folders. If you think it was Oswald, evidence for it. If you think it was the CIA, evidence for it. If you think it was Johnson, if you think it was Israel, if you think it was the Cubans, the Russians, literally everybody had evidence in there.
The thing, Connor, that when you work this type of operations, people think on the binary, like things that are told and things that are not told. Like when you're told things, or it's out in the open. Sometimes when you tell too much, you can also hide things from the public. Like if you overload them with information,
80,000 pages of documents that nobody's going to go through.
You throw 80,000 pages, and they're like, oh, everything is out. And then you just move on from the thing. And people are not, maybe out of the 80,000 that it was pretty much a nothing burger, maybe in 4 years, someone is going to connect the dots on those documents. So I don't know. I think until the American people have a reliable answer, this is going to still be in the news cycle. It's going to go up and down like we used to do. This was the longest, I call them Epstein cycles that we had. It's been 8 weeks. but we usually run like 2 weeks Epstein cycles. So I don't know. Maybe the next one is gonna be shorter. It's gonna be longer, but it's gonna keep on coming up and then going away, coming up and then going away until we have a satisfactory answer for the American people.
I don't feel like we're any closer than we
No,
were.
we're not.
I feel like we're more confused and we're more discouraged by the releases than we are encouraged to continue searching for truth. Maybe that's part of the plan. Hey, we're going to tell them we're going to give them something. Then we're going to give them these binders filled with bullshit. Then people are going to go out. Now everybody looks at the people that came out with the binders. Who was it? Liz Wheeler, Jack Posobiec,
DC Drano.
Did it fundamentally change your opinion of Trump, though?
It started to.
But it didn't?
The whole Epstein disclosure process, not that one incident, but the entire thing has certainly altered the way I'm viewing what's going on at the Trump administration.
Yeah, I can't imagine how it couldn't change your opinion of Trump in any way.
No, I think, and it's not just Trump. I think more the administration. We were promised transparency. And to date, we have gotten very minimal transparency. If anything, it seems like at times they're hiding just as much, if not more, information that the Biden administration hid from us,
changed my
which
opinion
is infuriating.
of Trump, what changed my opinion of Trump, though, was when he came out and said, anyone who's still talking about this is a loser and I don't want your support anymore.
After he asked the Department of Justice to cross his name out in the files.
So it's like that changed my opinion of a lot of things, and it kind of made me start to realize some of the other things that haven't quite been delivered in the way we were told they would be.
Well, today is what, September 2nd? So the press conference is tomorrow with Khanna and Thomas Massie. So if you want to watch and get bamboozled by more bullshit, go ahead and feel free to.
So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.